Good morning. My name is Maria Guerra Lapacek. Welcome to our webinar about our solution station. We're here with our partner from the IRS, Yolanda Ruiz. She is with the IRS. She does a solution station every last Friday of the month, starting back up in January. We take a hiatus in November and December. Welcome, Yolanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the IRS. The IRS is actually a little scary to a lot of small
That's
businesses.
right.
So can you just give us a high level of what you guys do?
Well, actually, my name is Yolanda Ruiz, and I work for the Stakeholder Liaison in communications. This is a very a very tiny part of the IRS. Obviously, the public is more aware of the enforcement side, which is collection and examination. However, with Stakeholder Liaison, we're responsible for education and outreach to the small business community, meaning that we keep the small business community updated on any tax information, any incentives, any resources and tools that we have for them.
Oh, that's great. So talk to us about the work that you do at our solution station.
Okay, well, I am there the last Friday of every month, with the exception of November, December. And I am there when the small business owners come in and they are taking out their license or doing any other paperwork. It's really convenient for us to be there just in case they have any tax questions, because you're dealing with new business owners. Also, we get a lot of people after the workshop on Fridays that are interested in specific information about their tax responsibilities. And so I get a lot of my walk-ins there.
Well, and I'm very encouraged to hear that the IRS has this division that you represent that is, what's the name again? It's Assistance to the Small Business?
It's Stakeholder Liaison,
Okay.
and we are within communications.
Okay.
And so we do outreach and education.
Okay, so primarily your focus is to do exactly what you do at our solution station, which is reach out to small businesses to help them understand IRS laws, responsibilities, liabilities.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of information and resources that can help them to know their tax responsibilities and also to comply with it.
So tell me just, because I know that there's limits to how much you can help the small business. Obviously, you can't do the work for them. You can just give them guidance. Just for sake of an example, if you can think of an example of a small business owner that you helped and what was the issue and how you helped resolve, just so that we can understand what you guys do.
I would say the most common question that we have is with new business owners that are really concerned about doing things right from the start. And I commend them for wanting to know their tax responsibilities up front. And so it's usually, what are the problem areas that you've seen with small business owners? And one of them is not knowing their tax responsibilities, falling back on their taxes, and not knowing about estimated tax payments. And the other one is record keeping, not keeping abreast of all of the financial transactions in your business, and not really having a handle on how your business is going.
Do you find that businesses are having a better time with, technology, like using some of these softwares? Do you guys endorse any of them, or do you recommend them?
We don't endorse softwares, any type of software, but we do recognize that software programs have become user-friendly, and they are helpful for small business owners. There is a balance there, however. I tell small business owners that they still need to have a tax professional, and that they can't occupy too much of their time doing that record keeping, because it takes away from from managing their businesses. And that's really important.
Right. And how about issues related to employee taxes? Do you give advice and guidance on those? Because I know those can trip up a lot of small business. Some people don't know how to do the withholdings for their employees, for those that have employees. Do you help with that as well?
We do, and I think the misconception with business owners is that when they hire an employee, that they have a choice to either treat them as an independent contractor or an employee. And actually that's not true. The IRS actually mandates that, and there are some factors, financial and control factors, that you must look at in order to properly classify an employee. And so that is one of the things that I give them more information on. And we also have a small business tax workshop online, and you can find it on irsvideos.gov. And it covers hiring employees and what are the factors that you look at as far as classification of those employees. Because the IRS is really concerned about the employment tax aspect of a business and the proper classification of an employee.
And do those classification laws apply even if you only have one employee, or is there a threshold, for the very small business? Is there a threshold for you to, be able to then, if I only have one employee, I can treat them as an independent contractor versus I have 5 employees?
Right. Well, actually, that criteria applies if you have 1 or if you have 100.
Okay.
Obviously, the IRS will audit businesses when there's a significant amount of employees and there seems to be a problem in that area. But the criteria is the same across the board.
Got it. And so you mentioned the website. Talk to me about what resources exist on the website for small businesses. What kinds of things can we find that are helpful?
Okay, so once upon a time, the IRS.gov was not user-friendly. We've tried to change that, and we have a self-employed small business tax center, which helps small business owners navigate the IRS.gov, and then they're able to get, they on that page they have links to topics, to educational tools, to other resources that we have for them. So it's a one-stop deal.
Well, that's good. And you mentioned you have video. Is there more videos? Because you mentioned the workshop regarding the employee classification. Are there other videos there that are how-to, that are user-friendly guides?
Oh, absolutely. And I just wanted to say, too, that with the Small Business Self-Employed Tax Center on irs.gov, there's also a link to that virtual small business tax workshop. And so another area that they can go to is irsvideos.gov. And that's where we archive all of our webinars. And they can find webinars on various business topics.
Oh, well, that's tremendous, because otherwise searching for those things are difficult, and especially like you said, the business owner needs to be spending time managing their business. We want them to stay open, we want them to keep employing people. If they're spending time navigating these smaller issues, it takes time away from them. So what other ways do you do outreach? So is there, do you, in addition to the Solution Center, you come here, your website that has a lot of information, do you go out into communities? Do you do any other type of work with smaller chambers of commerce? Or I just wanted to get a sense of what your outreach was.
Absolutely. So my partners and those that I work with are small business organizations. And so we definitely want to leverage our message through these organizations to the members. And that could be done through webinars, it could be done through workshops. Actually, I do 2 yearly workshops for the city of Chicago, and they're tax workshops in February and March, when the interest in taxes peaks, and people actually want to look for the IRS at that time. And so those are the type of things that we do to share our messages.
Great. One last thing I wanted to just clear with viewers, because this has been an issue ongoing, is the IRS scams. And I know this isn't your office.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to make sure small business owners didn't fall prey to the phone calling that's going on, where people are claiming to be calling from the IRS. since you're with the IRS, can you just confirm that the IRS will not call you, that they always send letters,
Absolutely.
and to not give your money away to these scam artists?
Well, this is a serious concern, and this is a message that we've been sharing to the media, to our partners, and the public needs to be educated on this, on what the IRS will do and what they won't do.
Right.
And unfortunately, these scammers have been successful in many cases, and they know who to target. They target immigrants, they target the elderly. And this is not the way that the IRS does business. The IRS will not contact you out of the blue without having before sent you a letter, and that making you aware that you owe taxes. And then at the same time, we don't demand payment. We try to work something out with you. They should be aware of this, and that these scams that threaten deportation and also police involvement are not from the IRS.
All right. Well, it's good to hear, because we do get complaints every now and then to our office. Thankfully, a lot of the people who complain are folks that know enough not to, give people their credit card numbers and their information. So they're not taking advantage of, but there are a lot of folks, like you mentioned, especially the elderly, especially immigrants, who don't understand, the business processes of the IRS, who then will fall prey. So it's good to make sure everybody knows, do not give your money away. If the IRS is calling, do not respond. Don't give your money away. It's very important. Is there anything else that I missed about the IRS and your assistance to small businesses that you wanted to make sure we
Well,
mentioned?
I just wanted to clarify, as far as small business owners, is that you don't have to be a tax professional. You just have to have an awareness. And that's usually my message to them. I don't want them inundated with this, because this is a profession of its own.
Right.
It's full time. So let a professional person assist you, but then also at the same time you can continue to keep records and help your accountant out during the year, and then in that way you have more of a handle on how your business is doing. The number one reason for businesses failing is the lack of management, and so at any given point that they don't know what exactly is going on. So taxes is something that they should be aware of, and especially estimated tax payments. Just like individuals have withholding during the year, businesses should also withhold taxes during the year in way of estimated tax payments, and that they should know their tax responsibilities, because when they fall behind, it's really hard to catch up.
Yeah, no, that's a good point that you bring up. And for those businesses that are very small or starting out, I know you partner, and so do we, with the Center for Economic Progress, and they have the Tax Assistance Clinic. And so I wanted to make sure that for those very small businesses that maybe aren't quite ready to hire their own professional, that they can seek assistance through their clinic, which would be low cost or free, depending on the business assistance. But it's very important, like you said, that they be knowledgeable about what their responsibilities are, especially those estimated payments, because a lot of people don't know that they're responsible for that until it's too late, and then they get hit with, big bills.
Tax bill, right.
Yeah, and that could be, pretty devastating to business. You can close a business that way.
Right, and it's interesting that you brought up the Center for Economic Progress, because that's actually our counter partner. And what it is that sometimes when a small business owner approaches me and they have an issue that goes beyond a tax question, and they need somebody to sit down and help them sort through it, the Center for Economic Progress has attorneys, tax attorneys, that actually help them through that process. So we value them.
Yes, and as do we. They are one of our Solution Station partners as well. And I wanted to make sure that, because I know, your mention of hiring a tax professional is very important, but for those that, can't afford it, maybe they're starting out or they're just not ready yet, I just wanted to make sure that people knew that that existed and that their clinic is helpful, and should be taken advantage of by the small businesses that need their help. All right. Is there anything else that I missed?
That's it. I think we covered everything.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much, Yolanda, for being with us today. And thank you as well for being with us. We hope this was helpful for you. Thank you.